Steve Ensel, Education Officer with the British Association of Landscape Industries. We're here in partnership with Naturally Birmingham doing their skills showcase, and we're looking to show you another activity that you can do in your school grounds that you can use in terms of how it impacts different green spaces and the way that we can use it. And this one's particularly focused with garden design in mind. So it's how to record a site's measurements is what we're aiming to do with this little activity. So the things that you're going to need mainly are a couple of big tape measures, the ones that you can roll out that you can see, and you might need some pegs, but it's great if there's two of you can do the activity, one to hold it and one to kind of reel out the tape measure, and then also if we can write down the measurements as we go along. So that's what we're planning on doing. So we've got our space that we're going to do, so I'd suggest if you've got a little bit of graph paper, you're going to mark out the outline of the space which you're going to use, and that's going to be what you're going to use in terms of recording your measurements on. The first thing we need to do is establish what we call our baseline. So it could be a building, we're going to use a fence in this case, and we put out a tape measure along the length of it that's going to stay there for the duration of the measurement, and that's what we're coming off. So that there is we're going to come back to every time to do our measurements from. Okay, so you'll record the length of the baseline and how long that is, and that might be the back of a house it might represent. And then what it means then is we can start to measure different things off the edge of the baseline to record them and to mark them on our plan. So the first thing we're going to do is to mark this tree here, and we're going to do what we call triangulation. So we're going to take 2 points of reference. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to mark either end of your baseline, and we're going to take the first measurement from the first corner here. So you're going to write on your plan what this measurement is. So on ours it's going to be 5.5 meters, and what we're going to do then is to take our tape measure, we're going to put it on that point there, and I'm using pegs just as my second person, if you like, so I can do this on my own. And what we then do is we're going to run the tape measure out to approximately the centre of the tree here. So if you can see here, we've got the tree here that we want to keep and we want to record what it's going to be. And so if we mark that to the centre of the base of the tree, we've got there at 3.27. So make sure your tape measure's nice and taut so you don't got any lag, and then you can mark that down. So that's your first measurement. So you draw it as we're going to mark this up as a triangle on the plan. To make sure we're positioning that in the right place, we need to take a second measurement, where we get our triangulation from. Okay, so it's important that we again mark where we're going to start this measurement from on the baseline, and we're going to come back to exactly the same point on the tree. So where we came to before is where we're going to mark it, and what we've got here is we've got two measurements now. We've got 4.15. Those are the two measurements that you're going to write. So you're going to your starting point there, your finishing point, and the next thing that you're going to mark then is the rough canopy of the tree. Because remember, you're creating a plan that you're looking at from above. So it's a bird's eye view, so you're only going to see the circumference of the canopy from above. But it means that we can mark the centre of the tree in this way. So the way that you're going to do this together as a pair is one person is going to stand with the tape measure the one end and somebody the other, and you look up and you look at the size of the canopy, and you roughly find where the edge of the canopy is, which is around about here, and we're going to do this at the front. And then you stretch out, the other person takes the tape measure, and they're stretching out until we come to the canopy, the edge of the canopy on the other side, which is around about here. Make sure your tape measure is nice and straight, not caught on anything, and we're looking at around about 6.2 metres. So that means you can draw your canopy on the plan when you need to represent the tree that you're keeping. And what you do is you roll out that process to anything else that you might have that you're going to keep on there. If there's another building, another plant, a pathway that's going to stay, these are all measurements that you want to record accurately on your plan. The reason you have to be accurate is that this data is going to help you determine when you come to draw this up as a scale plan. So measurements are really, really important that you get them nice and accurate. So even if it means double checking them, it's always best to, and making sure you read that tape measure or that meter stick or whatever you're using to measure as accurately as you can.